What should he demand of the Iranians to not get attacked?
Well, I think he's already drawn the red line back when the protests against the regime were still going on, and the regime didn't stop killing its own people until there was a massacre that really drove everybody off the streets. So I think even though it's been quiet for several weeks, there's still an important point to be made here by attacking Revolutionary Guard or Basiji militia targets. But I think the president also needs to think long term. One strike isn't going to bring the regime down. If he is committed to regime change, as he has now said, you need to think in a more programmatic, strategic way.
By programmatic strategic, you seem to mean what will replace the regime. That's often been the refrain from those who have urged not having any action in Iran, which seems, at least for the time you and I have known each other, totally different than your previous thoughts.
Well, I think programmatic in the sense, since one strike won't bring the regime down, you have to think of what multiple strikes might do to degrade the regime's ability to cause problems in the nuclear field and the terrorism field, but also to reduce its power to repress its own people. It is the case the regime is not well organized. On the other hand, it's very hard to think of anything worse that could replace the present regime.
Yeah, that seems to be the idea, is the devil you know may indeed be actually worse than the devil you don't know, which would be a flip of the way things are. And the way this regime is acting, I think, is so important, because the videos continue to come out of the body bags. The latest report, 35,000 people executed by the regime. And these are not fighters. These are peaceful protesters, as far as we can see, a lot of whom are being shot in the back of the head when they're in the hospital. Their whole groups are being tortured and killed. And yet there's sort of this odd silence from the typical groups that are normally so up in arms over this kind of violence or even alleged violence in the Middle East. And I think about, for example, the UN. Has not really said all that much about what's going on in Tehran. This is the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights.
Aggressive rhetoric and threats are deeply counterproductive. Accountability for human rights violations cannot be achieved by military force coming from inside or outside Iran. It is imperative to reduce tensions across the region.
Why, Mr. Ambassador, at the UN, at the BBC, among liberals in the United States, among the Europeans, is there such anger about Israel, for example, and such focus on that? But when Iran is doing what the Israelis were accused of, and actually even worse than what the Israelis have been accused of in the past, there seems to be a desire for conversation and pause and dialogue.
Well, I think it's a combination of hypocrisy and anti-Semitism, frankly. I think these people are just blind to what this regime in Tehran has done for over 45 years now. I mean, this is not one act of brutality. This is part of the systematic effort over decades to keep the regime in power. And that's why the regime is now at its weakest point since the revolution of 1979 brought it to power, and why some clear use of U.S. force here against the regime, I think, would boost the morale of the opposition, would remind them we have not forgotten about them, but also say to regime figures, your days are numbered here, and you can calculate, you want to stick with this regime, or do you want to break and come over to the opposition?
Last 30 seconds is yours, but you're leaving open the possibility that there's parts of the Iranian government that would defect, that this isn't the death cult that we have all thought the Iranian regime was.
Well, it's not monolithic, that's for sure, and we can't know. But the opposition does believe that they can fragment the regime. We should be helping them more to do that, frankly, not just military strikes, but giving the opposition inside Iran more resources so they can help split the regime at the top.
Yeah, it's a great point. We know what's happening in terms of the overt moving of forces. We don't know what's happening covertly. Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much. Always good to have you, sir.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.